guys, and I still put T.O. up there when it comes to some of the greatest of all time.
Nah, T.O. is one of the greatest of all time. There's no doubt about that. Terrell Owens, a Hall of Fame wide receiver in the 49ers Hall of Fame and the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and his son Tariq. I know it was a great moment. Not the best moment because I know he wanted his son to be drafted, but he was signed by the Niners, and he's signed to the 49ers practice squad last week. And what T.O. said about his son, I'm proud of him. All we ever asked for was an opportunity. He's wanted to make his own name and carve his own path to get where he is. We would have loved to have gotten drafted, but he's got his foot in the door. Now he has to continue to do all the right things to show people he can play. Like I told him, he doesn't have to be me because that will be hard to do. He just has to be himself, and I'm looking forward to seeing Tariq go out there on the practice field and make a name for himself. T.O., we got him on the line. No Zoom, but we got him over the hotline. T.O., what's happening, man? Long time no talk. Good morning to you, brother.
Yeah, good morning. I see you guys, man. You guys looking good.
I can see him, too.
Man,
I see him.
I'm trying to look like you, T.O., man. I don't have the six-pack like you or the 8-pack. I don't have the 20-inch pythons or 24-inch pythons, but I'm trying, brother. I'm trying.
Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have a 6-pack anymore. Maybe a 4-pack.
Maybe.
Too much wine? You got the Hall of Fame edition still rolling, 2018 limited edition?
Yeah, man. We're down to the last Kobe cases, 24 cases.
Wow.
We're down to the last 24 cases, and I'm thinking about doing possibly maybe a little run on these last 24 cases. Maybe you guys can help me out over the next few weeks or so. I'm trying to think maybe whomever buys a number of cases, I give them a signed jersey, and if somebody gets another bunch of cases, I give them a signed jersey and a football. You know, I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to get rid of these last 24 cases.
Nah, Tio, whatever we could do to help you out, we will do that for you. 81vino.com. We have no problem showing the love with the Rwanda. We have no problem showing love to your son. I know he wasn't drafted, but he has an opportunity of a lifetime with the team that drafted you, the San Francisco 49ers. So what was your thoughts when the phone rang and it was the 49ers saying, hey, Tariq, we know we didn't draft you, but we want you to be part of our practice squad. What was that moment like for you, Tio, as a father to Tariq?
I mean, the first initial call, or after I spoke to him, it didn't really hit me. And then Josina Anderson, who's a columnist, she worked with CBS. I think she no longer works with CBS. But she called and she wanted to be the first to kind of get my reactions to it. And she told me about Frank Gore's son, obviously going to the Buffalo Bills. He was a little salty about, his son not being drafted. But me, I give my son realistic expectations, understanding that, late to the game of playing football, he really honestly, he played, 5 years of football, obviously with the COVID year. He had literally 4 coaches out of those 5 years.
Wow.
And so didn't really get to play a ton. But again, what I told him is like, look, you have the ability to play just as well as some of those guys that got drafted. You just don't have the resume as they do. If you look at his last year, 28 catches, I think 528 yards, I think 4 touchdowns. The yards per catch is up there. I think it's a little over 18 yards per catch. So that shows you that he can play given the opportunity. So he had some guys that were in front of him. What we're working on now is just really the full development of him as a receiver. I've already seen now since he's been drafted, a lot of eyes are going to be on him. We've already talked about that, understanding the expectations. People are going to start, trying to compare him to me. Those are unrealistic expectations. He's raw. He's green. He's just like I was. So all the trolls out there, keep it coming. We're going to keep working. When I look back on my career and how I became a Hall of Famer, we're working on those 3 pillars of success: desire, dedication, and discipline. Tariq has the desire to be a football player. He has the desire to be a receiver. We're working on the dedication and the discipline to really separate himself and really get himself on par with some of the guys that were drafted.
Talking to Terrell Owens right now, Hall of Famer, his son Tariq, joining the 49ers, an undrafted free agent. It's crazy. You just mentioned Frank Gore, Jerry Rice's son, obviously, joining the Chargers too. So a great weekend for legacy 49ers, right? And their sons kind of taking that mantle over for them. And you mentioned your son. What are some of the key attributes that he has that you think translate over from the college to the pros?
Number one, the physical attributes. You think about the long arms, just his size. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. And as I did, he'll get better. He'll get bigger. He'll get stronger. Obviously, he'll get faster. A lot of people they're going to probably sleep on his speed. We've been working on really the fundamentals and the basics of route running, the transition, getting in and out of the routes. Again, as far as the playmaking ability, that'll come once he gets everything down. He'll go into camp next week. He's already started to take some of the online classes with Coach Hankerson just to kind of dial in on the plays, things of that nature, just some of the verbiage and some of the things that I can really assist on, understanding the routes and the formations. Those are some of the things, again, we all had to go through as a rookie, and he's going to go through that as well. So, again, I've already told him, having me as a dad, it has nothing to do with the playmaking ability, anything of that nature. I told him I'm like having the answers to the test. And so if he's smart enough to actually lean on me, he has a foot up and a leg up on a lot of the competition.
Yeah, as you mentioned, over 18 yards per catch last season. Those are big-time numbers there. Brandon Ayuk was second in the league when it came to yards per catch. And we'll get to Brandon Ayuk because, T.O., I'm so happy they didn't trade him. People want to just trade these wide receivers like they grow on trees.
Right.
No, when you got a good one, you keep a good one. I need more playmakers for Brock Purdy here. Real quick.
I think to your point, and Brandon Ayuk will probably appreciate me saying this, not only you got to have guys like Brandon Ayuk, but you got to utilize these guys.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think, for me, understanding really the dynamics of just think about the Super Bowl. I think maybe he was underutilized a little bit in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You think about what Debo can. Again, you got to have some good offensive coordinators, a lot of good game planning, and you got to utilize your weapons. And again, when it comes to the playoffs, especially Super Bowl. It's a game of chess, not checkers.
Right.
You got to be on your game. So these offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, that's where the game is won and lost. It's third down and plays in the third down percentages and moving the chains and the red zone.
T.O., look, these guys have been rumored in trades. Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. And John Lynch has come out saying, hey, we moved on in the offseason. Everybody's on board here. They draft Ricky Pearsall out of Florida in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
They draft another receiver out of Arizona, Jacob Cowing. If that was you, T.O., playing at the top of your game, because Ayuk was 7th in the league in receiving yards, 2nd in the league in yards per catch. He caught 75 passes, and he didn't get the targets, as you mentioned. Would you be a little ticked off if your name was rumored to be traded or they was looking to move off of you because of money or financials or the salary cap situation? How would you have received that information there, knowing that your name has been rumored to be traded despite you balling out in this offense that averaged nearly 30 points a game?
Absolutely. I'll be pissed off. Look what happened to me in 03. They traded me without even consulting or giving me any kind of heads up. They tried to ship me to Baltimore, and everybody realizes and knows what I did in San Francisco for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
They chose to choose. They chose to kind of make Jeff Garcia the priority when I was the one. I was the one moving the chains when I was there in San Francisco. So those guys have obviously they have the prerogative to feel the way that they feel. Given, again, why they're there, given the opportunities that they probably didn't have going into that Super Bowl. And if you looked at how it played out, yeah, could they have gotten a little bit more plays here and there? Could Debo may have been utilized a bit more? I think he may have been banged up a little bit here and there. But again, when you think about Ayuk and you think about how they lost that game,
yep.
Again, a few more opportunities here and there, then the outcome may have been a little bit different.
Talking to T.O. Terrell Owens right now on the Morning Roast, Spadoni alongside Bonte Hill. And T.O., when you look at this offense, this 49ers offense is just absolutely stacked. It's insane. All-pro at running back, all-pro tight end, all-pro at 2 different wide receivers, and obviously he's like an X-back, X whatever you want to call him, the X factor we call him, Deebo Samuel. So a guy like Ricky Pearsall joining this offense that was just in the Super Bowl, that has been knocking on the door a couple times, and a guy like your son too, like, how do you fit in? Like, I cannot imagine the pressure of joining a stacked offense and trying to make a name for yourself while also trying to just do everything you're told. How difficult is it going to be for these rookies coming into this offense and coming into an offensive scheme like Kyle Shanahan's that demands a lot early on?
Honestly, I mean, before you get to that point, I mean, you talk about all pros and the statistics and where these guys ranked and stacked personally with their accomplishments, but you don't win. You don't win championship. You don't win games based on those accolades. There is no such thing as paper champs.
Yep.
Yeah, you look at on paper. Yeah, they look good. They should win. But like I said, there's no such thing as paper champs. But to the latter part of that, when you think about obviously these guys being drafted with the expectations, obviously you hope to have their trajectory of why and where they were drafted. You would hope that lends to the offense, especially when you think offensively, that's where they drafted. You would hope that that's going to bode well for the offense, that they can pick it up and they can come in and make an immediate impact. As far as my son is concerned, hey, if he can come in, learn the offense, and that's what I told him first. Learn everything first, and then your playmaking ability, that'll take care of itself. Sometimes it's not all about the most athletic. It's all about who knows and who knows the most and who's the most reliable.
Yep.
All of that will kind of play itself out. But again, these young guys can come in, and those veterans can show these guys the rope and bring them along. Then that's going to bode well, not only for the offensive side of the ball, not only for just the team as a whole, but the city, because now there's a lot of expectations, a lot of hopes that these guys can get back to the Super Bowl. Obviously, you got to win enough games, win a division, get into the playoffs. And then, like I said, it's anybody's game. You saw what the Detroit Lions have been doing the last few years. They've been knocking on the door. And again, like I said, they easily play here and there. They could have been playing in the Super Bowl. So sometimes it's all about how the ball bounces, but you got to have a little luck when you play this game. And like I say, I would rather be on the side of luck sometimes than being good.
Yeah, no doubt. T.O., look, Tom Brady got roasted last night on Netflix. Did you check it out at all? Did you check a couple snippets of that, T.O.?
I did. I'm probably like about an hour and a half in. Hey, bro, it's brutal, bro. They didn't hold any punches, bro. Like, yo, I was over there sweating. I was sweating myself. I was getting roasted. Man, I started thinking, man, I don't know if I want anybody to roast me.
I was just about to ask you, T.O., would you want to be roasted? You're sitting up there with the Hall of Fame limited edition cab and Vino 81 Vino, and you're sitting there in the King's chair, and there's Kevin Hart, Jeffrey Ross, Randy Moss, all these dudes taking. You couldn't handle it, T.O.? You wouldn't do the roast?
Hey, bro. Hey, if they pay me well, pay me as well. I'm pretty sure they did, Tom. They got me. Sign me up. But you got to know what you're signing up for. I don't know if Tom was ready for what he was signing up for. Let me tell you. There was no stone unturned, no joke, nothing, and nobody was off limits.
Were you surprised at how funny Bill Belichick was, T.O.?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Just with his demeanor, I kind of figured that just the way he is, his comedic timing, it was almost kind of natural for him.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of funny in his own right. A lot of those guys that probably went up there and tried to be funny with the comedic timing, it felt a little bit off. But because of who he is and how his demeanor is, he comes off like a dry humor type of comedian. So it came up well. And then as he went along, you could just tell he started to get a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, so far I've enjoyed it.
No, he did the shots with Robert Kraft at the end. It was they're all trying to make fun of it and stuff like that. It was a really good time to see that. Yeah, that was great. I
fast-forwarded a little bit because I had a friend of mine, a famous actor. He texted me in the middle of the night, like literally, it was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. He said, "Yo, have you watched the Tom Brady roast?" And then he told me, like, he gave me an opinion as who was terrible, who was good, and then he's like, "Yo," at the end, he said, "Yo." He said he really had an affection for Tom until the end. He was like, yo, Tom was arrogant, this and that and the other. So I was like, yo, so I had to fast forward. I haven't watched it in its entirety. But I'm going to fast forward to see exactly what he's talking about. But he didn't like Tom Brady after the last little bit.
T.O., I look at Tom Brady this the way I look at you. I think both of you guys, if you joined an NFL offense right now, you guys would fit in seamlessly together. I swear to God. Yeah. I swear to God, Tom Brady's one of those guys that can go in there right now. I feel the same way about you, T.O.
Well, I honestly, I still feel the same way as well. I'm putting it out here on the air. Trust me. If anybody can do it, I know that I can. And let me tell you, all you listeners and all you pundits and naysayers, look, I don't have to play every down. But when it comes down to third downs, which in the playoffs, those are very critical downs.
The money downs.
Super Bowl.
That's the money down, T.O.
Exactly. That's why Buffalo wasn't in there this year. Third downs. Playmaking in the red zone. I am a viable option. I've been training. I've been working out with Tariq, not just teaching him, but I've been on the field just honestly to kind of, be an extension of Delphonte Diamond, who's out here. He's training a bunch of receivers. Not just I'm an extension of him. So just to give him, honestly, a visual reference of how some of these routes should be run, should be ran, and how they should look. Because we're kind of similar in body types. Right. Obviously, like I said, he kind of runs kind of like how I ran early on in my career until I had an understanding of my gait, what speed I needed to run at and to get in and out of my routes. Those are things, again, that I'm helping Tariq, with his maturation process and his development of being a receiver. Again, everybody, they already started trolling my son. Yo, he's not going to look like me right away. And again, if you look at my first few years, right, I look the same way, if not worse. So there's a tremendous upside to Tariq and his abilities. So I just told him, don't worry about it. Keep working. That's what we're going to do. And again, like I said, if I can be anything like LeBron James and his son Bronny, or playing the same team, or playing the same era, hey, sign me up. I've already told Jed, and I'm telling Cal, and I'm telling John Lynch, trust me, I am a viable option. Third downs and red zone.
I would never doubt you, T.O. I would never doubt you. I seen you cooking dudes at Jackson State when Dion brought you down there to Jackson State. You're out there cooking their top corners out there, man. I don't doubt you at all, T.O. I think you would be good for 25, 30 plays a game. Sign me up for that. I'm here for the entertainment. I'll get my popcorn ready for that. I'll get my popcorn ready for that. Speaking of which, T.O., real quick, before we let you go, because we appreciate the time. Your thoughts on LeBron James and Kevin Durant? Our Golden State Warriors are down bad right now, not in the playoffs, trying to figure out how to build this team around Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. What are your thoughts on LeBron or KD coming to the Golden State Warriors? Or KD, in his case, coming back to the Dubs?
I think it would be great if KD, I think it would be very apropos if he came back. He's been there. He knows the system. He knows those guys. In addition, obviously, Klay Thompson has to get 100% healthy. He has to get his body. I'm hoping that's what he does this summer is really kind of work on the Achilles, get the ACL leg strong, get back to playing like he needs to play. But again, to have both of those guys, just say both of those guys on the Warriors. Again, you can't be just paper champs. You got to have some chemistry. You got to do all that kind of stuff. But again, you look at KD and what he brings to the Warriors and what he brought. Again, if he didn't tear his Achilles, 4 years ago, honestly, they could have won it. They could have won it again when he came back, and obviously he ruptured his Achilles. They were definitely trending in the right direction to obviously be on pace to win another championship. But again, like I said, with KD and his playmaking ability, his IQ for the game, he's already won a championship. Hey, why not? You can't beat him. Hey, join him.
I'm mad at that.
Not mad at that. Hall of Fame edition. T.O., one more time, give us a plug. You give out a case. You could be signing a jersey or a football with the 24 cases left. The Kobe years, 24 cases left.
Mamba.
Hall of Fame 2018 limited edition. Some cab right now available at 81vino.com.
Can I give one more little snippet about the Lakers? I'm mad that they gave my man Darvin Ham a raw deal, bro. It can't be all the coaches. They did it with Luke Walton. They did it with Frank Vogel. Now they've done it with Darvin Ham. Some of those players need to start taking some responsibility and accountability for the losses around there. They can't just be signing coaches to like 4 or 5 year deals and then they get 2 years in and then they just cut them. It's not always the coach's fault.
Who's it on? Who you holding accountable? Is it LeBron? Does it start with LeBron and AD? Anthony Davis?
I mean, you got to start with the general. You started up top.
Rob Pelinka?
Right, you're making those decisions because well, I'm sure LeBron and Rob, they go hand in hand. They're the ones, spearheading this whole situation. I mean, they started out with signing Carmelo, Russ. That thing didn't work out. Now he handpicked all these other guys. Now, if that didn't work out, Well, it can't be all the coaches.
It's got to be tough playing with LeBron James or trying to coach LeBron James, right, T.O.?
It's a gift and a curse.
I love LeBron.
Yes and no, but again, there's a lot of responsibility. If you're going to call yourself the GOAT and you're going to call yourself the king, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. You can't just handpick and delegate this, and that, and the other, and then, kind of throw your hand, throw it rough, hide your hand, and then all of a sudden now you put coaches in place just as well as players, and then somebody else, be the fall guy. Raw deal, that Darvin Ham had.
Yeah, I'm
10 head coaches LeBron James has had in his career.
Somebody's got to take accountability down there. Listen, T.O., the rest of the playoffs, I know you're a huge fan. Before we get you out of here, is it on Minnesota? Is this Minnesota's title to lose? Is it Boston, New York? Who you rolling with here as we have 8 teams left in the NBA playoffs? Anthony Edwards, don't he remind you of a guy who played in Chicago Award number 23? Ooh-wee.
Yeah, man. Hey, that man is playing out of this world, bro. He's playing some really, really good basketball right now. But again, like I said, you can't dethrone the champions until they lose.
Yeah.
Those guys, they're coached by Malone, who's a great coach. They're going to make some adjustments, and obviously it depends on the health of Jamal Murray. If he's not healthy, then it's not looking good for the Nuggets. But right now, those young guys are very, very hungry with the Minnesota Timberwolves, but don't count out the OKC Thunder. Take Gilgeous-Alexander. He was my pick early on in the season to be MVP, and he definitely may be the MVP of the season this year. So again, those guys they're playing some great basketball as well. If you look at SGA's numbers, bro, he's balling out, and it's quiet because of the market that he's in, but OKC and SGA, he has them where they are right now. If they didn't have SGA, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
No, he's a 3-level scorer. Gets to the free throw line. They got Jalen Williams. They got Lou Dort, Chet Williams. But no, SGA is their problem there. And the Clippers are probably regretting that, saying, man, we got Paul George. We can't get out to second round, first round. SGA looks like he's going to have OKC in contention for many years to come. T.O., always great spending time with you, man. We appreciate you chilling in the car right now on your ride, spending some time with us here via Zoom. Hall of Fame wine, 2018 limited edition. But more importantly, congratulations to you and your family. We're pulling for your son, Terrell Owens. We'll see him out here, rookie camp, OTAs, training camp. Hopefully he makes this roster, man. But congratulations, because he does have a foot in the door in the National Football League, like father, like son. T.O., man, what a proud moment for you.
Thank you, man. I'm very proud of him, man. And then that you said like father, like son, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and a show with that very title, like father, like son.
That's awesome.
Or is he?
Or is he?
Or is he?
T.O., you gonna hook us up with 5% of that, man? Come on, you can't be stealing. Hey, T.O., man, I just gave you a layup, T.O. Come on,
forever.
I just got off a call before I got on you guys with my guys. It's already in the works. Like son, or is he? That's what I'm saying.
We will be subscribing to that, no doubt about that. T.O., man, great catching up with you. We'll do it again soon, brother. Good luck on the wine, too. 24 cases left. Get out there, folks. Only 24 cases left.
Go Niners.
Go Niners. Terrell Owens, Terrell Owens. Thanks so much for the time here. Hall of Fame wide receiver. Always a good time with T.O.
That was awesome.
The show's flown by. We're already 3 hours down.
He brought it up. I want to get into Darvin Ham here after you do the legal.
After legal, where's Film on Mike? Film on Mike didn't say nothing. I know you want to disagree, but you did not have the goss. But you didn't have the goss.